Hi, I'm Victoria Ballou, and thank you for tuning in to my Practical Metaphysics channel. Right now, I'm going to show you some tarot basics, specifically spreads. I'm going to show you 3 spreads that you can put to use right away, either for yourself or for others. Let's begin. One of the easiest and most effective spreads that I have found is a 3-card spread. Now, you choose the 3 cards, you pull them and lay them out, and you have the choice of past, present, or future. These are very standard spreads, and I have lots of people lots of tarot readers use 3-card spreads, but they use them in different ways. This is a very standard way, the past, the present, and the future, so that if you're reading for yourself or for a client, whatever the client's question was or your question, you would look at this card for something that reflects the answer pertaining to something in the past. Now, when it's the past like this, then this is always something that is the basis or what has brought the client into the present, right? And this is the current situation. From that point, you read the card in terms of where your client is right now, and then take a look at the future card. And here's an important point that I want you to understand is that the tarot works from a very energetic standpoint and from your subconscious and your superconscious energy that comes through. When you are open, when you allow your energy to be open for these cards to communicate with you, that's exactly what they do. And so this past energy represents what the trajectory was, bringing you into the present energy, which then reflects what brought you in, will take you into your future energy. And so that is how we read this if you are doing the past, present, and future. This gives a lot of insight to you or to your client, and it's always good to have a question, a very specific, open-ended question that you are asking before you draw the cards. Now, you can always do just an open 3-card spread, past, present, and future, to read the energy of the client. What I prefer to do when there has not been a question presented, and actually when I do readings for clients, I like to do a 3-card spread that I call my energetic reading, my energetic check-in. And rather than past, present, future, this first card that I draw is in the position of the overview. And this is the energy of the client from a very broad standpoint. I think of it as the balcony view. From that point then, after establishing that broad energy that the client has, we go into the second card, which is the challenge energy. This is what is challenging them right now. So this is honing it in, where the overview card is from a very broad standpoint. At that point, the challenge energy goes into something that is specifically challenging them. And it could be something that they are immediately aware of that's very much in their conscious life, or it could represent something that is some small something that has been nagging at them, maybe for all of their lives. You know, beliefs, right? Those deeply embedded childhood beliefs they quite frequently show up here in the challenge energy. So, overview, challenge, and then the third card is the course of action called for. And that card will tell you exactly how to advise the client to deal with the challenge energy. And so that is what we are dealing with. I like to begin my readings with this because it allows for a deeper reading as we go forward in the session, because I know and the client knows where they are right now energetically. And this always just gives them, has always tuned in exactly to where the client is so that they understand, and then we are able to dive in. And sometimes even we are already addressing problems and tuning into the course of action called for. So I really, really enjoy this spread. I find it very useful. Now, also, there is a relationship spread that is very useful, and that is 5 cards. So after your deck is shuffled, the first card you draw is for your querent or yourself, and the second card you draw is for the love interest that they have, that they are thinking about, asking the question about. So here you have the 2 energies, right? Then you begin looking at the relationship from the past and the present and then the future. This is a very effective spread that I want you to look at, and it's so easy to do, but there is a lot of information here that you would be able to use to help the client understand where they are right now, where the person that they're asking about is right now, and then a look back at their relationship, how they came together, how their relationship began, and then where it is right now, and then where it's headed. And it's important, again, that I reiterate that this is all relative to subconscious energy and the trajectory of the path that that subconscious energy is on right now. And of course, when you're dealing with 2 people here, for example, in this relationship spread, then you're dealing with 2 free wills. And things can change, of course. Free will can change the trajectory of something like flipping a light switch on. So be aware of that. But if everything were to continue along this trajectory, this path that is shown from these 2 individuals, this is how it's going to go. So again, very effective spread, very quick and easy to lay out, but you can gain a lot of information from it. Okay, so the third spread I want to show you is a classic. It is one that has been used for probably a couple of 100 years now, and that is the Celtic Cross. Now, people tend to do this, read it in different ways. I'm going to read it the way that I was taught 30 years ago, but intuition is always your guide. If your intuition is telling you to read it differently, then that's what you need to do, because it's all about getting the message to either yourself or to the client. So the very first card that you pull in a Celtic Cross represents where your client is or where you are right now. This is just like the overview card of the 3-card spread that I showed you earlier. The second card that you pull is what crosses it. This is the energy that is crossing you at this moment, so that you understand that here you are, let's say with passion, with strength, with moving forward with heart, and that what the energy that you are dealing with right now is being in a very highly intuitive state. That's what the priestess, of course, represents. So that is what the first 2 cards are talking about. And then here comes the third card. This is your subconscious energy. Think of this as the cornerstone of where you are on a very deep subconscious level. This is really the key card right here that gives us the information that we need to understand about this entire spread, as far as the motivation of what is happening within you. And you may not even know that this is, you may not even recognize this as what is motivating you, what is that subconscious cornerstone. But when this card appears, you will know and be able to recognize and get a deeper reading by understanding that this is what this card is representing in your subconscious. And then here comes this card. This always represents the energy that has brought you to this place. You know, some people call it the past, things that are in the past or in the motion of going away out of your life. And that is true, but it is also what has brought you here into this situation, right? So this is the energy that has brought you here. For example, you know, the Eight of Wands is called swiftness. And so this is talking about swift moving energy that is, and certainly in this ill-dignified position, it could mean miscommunication, things moving too quickly, bringing you into this period where you're feeling like you need adjustment to find your balance, right? So that's how I read this. And this is a very effective way to read this. Now, the next card. This represents the position of your goal and what you would, the best outcome possible for how you would like to resolve whatever your question is. Whatever the tarot is telling you, this is clearly, it's kind of like your subconscious, but this is talking about if you were to wave your magic wand, this is how this would go, right? So that is the position. That's what this card position occupies. Now, the next card, short-term, this is your short-term outcome. This is saying within the next few weeks, the next couple of months. This is on your current trajectory without free will changing it. This is how this is going to go. Energetically, the cards are coming together, showing you how your energy is going to be moving forward in the short term. The next card that we see, this is the advice of the tarot. This is holds the position of how you need to go about handling all the rest of this. This is your attitude about how you deal with all the rest of this. And this is called the advice position in the Celtic deck because it represents, sometimes it's surprising to us. You know, this is saying turn loose of the fear of failure, right? This is saying, you know, either that or wrap things up, time to wrap things up in this situation, right? And so let's pull the next card to see what comes up. So this position represents an external factor. This is something completely out of your control that is in your life or going to be in your life very, very soon. And so that's what I want you to see here is... yeah, this energy is all about something that is affecting your life that you really have no control over at this point. Now, here comes the next card. So, this represents your hopes and fears. This is the card position that says you're really hoping for the positive results of this card, or you're terribly afraid that this is what's going to happen. So again, it requires you understanding and taking a look at the entire spread and looking at your question or your client's question so that you can understand whether this is a hope or a fear. And then finally, we have the long-term outcome card. And this is what, again, on your current trajectory, if you move along that path, this is how your outcome is going to look. And so this card represents, again, the path that you're on and how this is going to play out, unless your free will changes it, which, of course, free will can change anything and everything in these outcome cards. So this is the Celtic deck, very traditional spread. And again, I'm reading it according to the way I was taught several decades ago. And my advice to you is to follow intuitively what you feel like these positions are saying to you. Because when you are in that place of intuition, that's when you're receiving the messages and able to create that circuit between your client, the cards, yourself by interpreting them, and then sharing that information back with your client or yourself. But it's a circuit, it's an energetic circuit that gets created. That's what tarot is all about, the subconscious energy. And we read this, I read this, according to the principles that Carl Jung, the psychologist, set forth with archetype energy, dealing with individuation, dealing with shadow energy. So it's very much working with those deep levels of our personality to get to the heart of where we are, what we need to address, and where we want to go. So, some really easy spreads for you to work with. I wish you a lot of good luck with doing this. Ask me questions if you have questions about this. You can also subscribe to my magazine, astrologicmagazine.com. My metaphysical magazine is the best for tuning into tarot, dream interpretation, astrology, all sorts of metaphysical sciences, sound healing, soul awakening, past life regression. By subscribing, you'll have access to all of this information. It really is bringing ancient science into modern practice. And this work with the tarot is very much part of that. And good luck with all of this.